Hi my angels, and welcome back to my channel. So if you follow me on Snap, you will know that this tutorial was coming up. It is a one branded makeup tutorial using all Bourjois products. Bourjois is definitely a brand that I love. So if you'd like to see how I got this makeup look along with all the products that I used, then please keep watching. So starting off, I used this Happy Light Luminous Serum Primer. Now this for me was just like a bog standard primer, but it did the job and it smelt super nice. Moving straight onto foundation, I used the Healthy Mix Serum Foundation in the shades 55 and 56. I'm using the darker shade like where I would generally contour, and then filling the gaps in with the shade 55. I used to do this a lot back in the day, and I forgot just how much I love this foundation. It's probably one of my favorite drugstore foundations. It's so luminous, it's so lightweight, but it still has buildable coverage. And I kid you not, you guys, my skin looked so nice with this foundation on. I feel like I've definitely fallen back in love with it. For concealer, I used the new Radiance Reveal Concealer. This particular one is in the shade 02. I was actually looking for the lightest shade, but the boots that I went to didn't have it in stock, which is so annoying because I really like the formula of this. It's very nice and lightweight. It's really good for like daytime wear, but I just wish that it was a little bit lighter. So I really wish that I just got the other shade, but like I said, it wasn't in stock. But I really like this, but because it wasn't kind of like brightening enough, because you guys know I love my concealer and highlight to be really bright, I went in with the Healthy Mix Concealer, and this is in the light shade, and I'm just putting this in the usual areas of my face, and then I'm just blending it all out with my beauty blender. And this again is a very good concealer, but it is, I feel like, a little bit thicker than the new one that I tried. I think if I had to pick out of the two, I prefer the new Radiance Reveal one because the applicator is just easy to use and I just like the finish of it more. Now to set everything in place, I actually tried out this new Healthy Balance powder in the shade Vanilla. Again, I wish this was a little bit lighter. This is the lightest shade that I could get my hands on. It's not as brightening as I would like it to be, but it made my skin look very nice, not too matte, but matte enough. And for bronzer and contour, I went in with this Maxi Delight bronzer. It smells so nice, but I'm going ahead and just bronzing the usual parts of my face. I know this might be really out there, but I am really not a fan of their like chocolate bronzers that they do. I don't know, I feel like they're not as pigmented enough, but this one was definitely pigmented. You get a lot of product in what you get, and here I'm just blending everything out. Next up for highlight, I actually used an eyeshadow. I'm using this eyeshadow in the shade Generose, I think that's what it's called. I'm putting that on the high points of my cheeks and all the other areas that I generally like to highlight my skin with a powder highlight. I was definitely surprised that they didn't have a contour palette because I feel like a lot of the other drugstore brands, especially here in the UK, tend to have something which is like a contour product. But never mind, we still worked with it. I'm taking a mixture of these two blusher shades and applying it to the apples of my cheeks. I used to use these years ago and I didn't like them because they weren't pigmented enough, but they have definitely reformulated these, and as you can see, the pigmentation on it is pretty darn good. And I seriously just like dipped my brush into these. I did not take up or pick up a lot of products, so I'm very impressed with these blushes, and they do a very nice range of them. Now taking Utopique eyeshadow, I'm just putting a wash of this all over my eyelid, and I'm also kind of blending that into the crease as well. I love doing this with eyeshadows, you guys, like just putting like a wash of color and just kind of like smoking it out to make it look like you've done loads of work on your eyelids, but really it's just one eyeshadow that's blended out. Again, these are very pigmented. Quite impressed with these, to be quite honest. And then I'm just taking this other eyeshadow in the shade Mauve Star, and just because I wanted it to look not too plain and flat, I'm applying this shimmery shade into the center of my eyelids just to add some sort of like pop of color to them. Overall, I am impressed with the eyeshadows. Again, I used to use them back in the day, but I felt that they weren't pigmented enough, so they've definitely changed that up. Here I'm taking the Volume Clubbing Liquid Liner. For me, this was the kind of most pigmented out of their range, which is why I picked this one up. I don't know whether it's very long lasting. I'd love to see how like smudge proof it is, but I didn't get the chance to check, because that's definitely something that you want to look out for, especially if you're going to be wearing it like out clubbing. But nonetheless, I created a really nice dramatic kind of winged eye with this with quite ease. If you'd like a full tutorial of how I do my winged liner, I will leave a link in the info box for you all. For my waterline, I use this Contour Clubbing waterproof eyeliner in Ultra Black. This was definitely difficult to take off, so I feel like it would be very, very long lasting. I don't know how waterproof it would actually be because it did come off, but it did take a bit of kind of strength for me to actually take it off my eyes. So quite impressed with that as well. It glides on really, really well. For mascara, I use the Volume 1 Second Mascara, and I'm just putting this onto my eyelids, not my eyelids, my eyelashes, and I'm doing a few coats of this. I used to use this quite a lot. I think it was either last year or the year before that during the summer. It is a very good mascara, I'm not going to lie, but there are so many other kind of great drugstore mascaras out there that I kind of prefer over this. But overall, it is a great mascara. I think it'd be really good for people who just want a wash of mascara on their eyelashes and nothing too dramatic. For brows, I use this brow pencil. The brush thing on the lid is kind of pointless. I didn't really understand it. It didn't really do much to my brows. So that I didn't really like. But overall, the eyebrow pencil itself is your bog standard eyebrow pencil. You cannot go wrong with this. It was great to apply. It was creamy. It was the right amount of waxiness as well, because the last thing you want is for a eyebrow pencil to be like too waxy or too creamy or too powdery, but this one was the right kind of formula, so I quite enjoyed using this. But I'm just a fan of like a retractable pen, just because I use these on a day-to-day basis and I just don't like the thought of having to like sharpen them all the time. But other than that, it's a really good eyebrow pencil. To add some depth to my lower lashes, I'm using this Noctam Brun. My French is really bad, you guys. I'm really sorry, but I'm applying that onto the outer thirds of my eyelids, and then I'm also adding it to my lower lash line as well. And this just, I felt like it completed the look a bit more rather than it looking just a little bit flat. And just to add a bit of highlight, I took that same eyeshadow that we used as a highlight on our cheeks, and I'm applying that to the inner corners of my eyes. Like, as you can see here, it is very, very pigmented, which I was really impressed with. I'm quite interested to see whether or not Bourjois would bring out like an eyeshadow palette, because I feel like it would be really, really good. Now moving on to lips, I am using like probably one of my favorite lipsticks ever, and it's this lipstick right here in the shade Don't Pink of It. It is like probably my favorite pink ever. I love wearing this. I have about 3 just so that I keep them in my handbags, like one on my desk, one in my clutch bag, just so I have one around me at all times, because this is like my go-to color. And because I'm not much of a gloss wearer, I wanted to see what the 3D Effect gloss was like, and this was in the shade Romantic Rose, and it is beautiful. It's very similar to one of the Milani lip glosses that I have, like the texture of it and everything. This, however, I feel like is less sticky, so it's very, very comfortable to wear. So this, you guys, is the end of my one branded Bourjois makeup tutorial. I feel like I have got to fall in love with the base foundation products and obviously my favorite lipstick. I'm very, very impressed with the blushes as well. So if you're looking for a good drugstore blush, then definitely check out Bourjois, and also have a look at their foundations as well, because I am a big fan. I just can't wait to see what new products they have to launch this year. Hopefully they're good ones, and I'm pretty sure they'll be really good quality as well. But that's all for now, you guys, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!